Welcome to our demonstration of the Tasktop Integration Hub, where we'll answer the question, what if one product could make software integration simple? Today, you'll see how a hypothetical company, Zentry Furniture, uses Tasktop to help in the development of its new in-house inventory management application to deal with their multiple warehouses. In this demo, Zentry Furniture is using JAMA, a requirements management tool, Jira, an agile development tool, Git, a source code management tool, and HPE ALM, a QA testing tool. In this software tool integration scenario, a Zentry Furniture business analyst creates a requirement in JAMA, and Tasktop flows that requirement to Jira as an epic. Then in Jira, the development team breaks down the requirement into child stories. Tasktop flows this epic and child stories from Jira to HPE ALM and maintains their internal relationships. Then, a developer commits a code to the company's Git repository, at which point Tasktop will create a change set link on the applicable Jira story for traceability. During testing, a defect is found and filed in HPE ALM, and it's synchronized to Jira and associated with the correct story. Finally, all these artifacts and their updates are flowing out to a database, allowing Zentry Furniture to run analytics and reports on its software delivery process. Let's see this in action. Here we have the actual JAMA interface on the left and the Jira interface on the right. Here in JAMA, the business analyst for Zentry Furniture creates a requirement, system handles multiple warehouses. Now, the developer in Jira sees this requirement show up in his tool as an epic. The developer can now break down the epic into two smaller child stories. Now, let's see this in HPE ALM. We've minimized JAMA on the left and brought up HPE ALM, Zentry's testing tool. In HPE ALM, the system handles multiple warehouses requirement shows up along with the child stories from Jira, and the parent-child relationship stays intact. Now we're going to minimize HPE ALM and show how the Zentry developer on the left commits the code. The developer commits code to the team's Git repository and includes the Jira ID of the story in the commit message. Behind the scenes, Tasktop then automatically creates a change set link on the Jira story for traceability. Finally, bringing up HPE ALM again on the left, we see that the Zentry Furniture tester has created a defect. The total inventory is not summing correctly. The tester has added a comment, an attachment, and this defect is blocking the "as a regional manager, I need to see all inventory" requirement. You can see that information has synchronized to Jira on the right side of the screen. Finally, going back to our overview, all of these requirements, epics, stories, defects, and their changes are being sent to a database to allow Zentry Furniture to report on them. This integration scenario would take years for most organizations to implement on their own. By using Tasktop, you can set it up in about an hour with no coding. Here we are in Zentry Furniture's instance of Tasktop. This is the tool that makes software integration simple. The buttons at the top take you to the configuration controls, and the bottom shows some of the tools we integrate with. Let's drill into the Integrations tab. Here you see the integration landscape showing all the integrations necessary for the scenario we just walked through. From here, you can quickly see which artifact types are flowing between the tools. It's obvious that JAMA requirements correspond to Jira epics. You can also see which models are being used. We'll talk about models a bit later. You can filter down by repository to highlight information about that repository. And you can also filter by model to show which integrations rely on that model. Finally, you can see all the integrations a given repository is participating in. Let's see which integrations Jira is participating in. It looks like it's participating in these 6 integrations. We'll look at one of these, the requirements JAMA to Jira. Clicking here takes us to the integration configuration page, where you can see that requirements are flowing between JAMA and Jira. Tasktop's power to replace point-to-point integrations with a more hub-based approach is related to the use of model-based integration. For a moment, think of the communication challenge between delivery tools in terms of people who speak different languages. Communication is hard enough when you only have 2 people speaking 2 different languages. But what if you have 3, 4, 5, 6 or more languages? Model-based integration management allows you to map artifacts to a central model instead of creating endless tool pairs. In this case, Zentry Furniture is using a requirements model. Let's click on it to learn more about this model. It's an abstraction of an artifact with various fields, such as summary, description, severity, etc., and available values. Now we'll go back to the integration configuration page and we'll explore how Zentry Furniture has mapped their JAMA requirements to the requirements model. Clicking on the JAMA requirements link takes us to the collection configuration page. Here we are in the collection configuration page. There's one JAMA project called Inventory Management participating. Now, let's click on Map Fields. Here, Zentry Furniture can select from all the fields in its JAMA instance and map the fields to the available fields in the requirements model. You can see in this instance, Zentry Furniture has mapped description in JAMA to description in the model. They've mapped the name field in JAMA to the summary field in the model because the meaning of these fields are the same, even if their labels are different. And Tasktop provides different icons to let you know if a field is read-only or required. Additionally, after mapping a field, if it's a single select, Zentry Furniture needs to map the field values in JAMA to the field values as defined in the model. So here, in the priority field, we'll click on Configure, and you can see that Zentry Furniture has mapped its JAMA priority fields to the model as shown. Now, going back to the collection, remember how we were able to recreate the parent-child relationships earlier in this demonstration? That's done here in the Configure Relationships section. Zentry Furniture decides which relationships they want to maintain. This is where they can select from the available relationships on their JAMA requirements and map those to the applicable relationships in their model. Zentry Furniture has mapped its JAMA requirements to its requirement model. We're going to jump to the JIRA collection configuration page to show that Zentry Furniture also has mapped its JIRA epics to the same requirements model. This enables that model to act as a translator between these two tools, in the same way an interpreter would act as a translator between two people who speak different languages. Here we are back in the integration configuration page. Now let's talk about the various controls available to Zentry Furniture to direct the flow of information between JAMA and JIRA. From the integration screen, let's navigate to the overview page. First is the ability to configure artifact creation flow. Clicking on this link allows us to see how a new artifact will flow. Currently, Zentry Furniture has new requirements flowing from JAMA to JIRA, but not the other way around. A new epic in JIRA will not be created in JAMA because we do not have two-way creation nor one-way from JIRA to JAMA. We can easily change this by clicking on Select Style, but for now we'll leave it one way. Next is Configure Field Flow. Clicking here shows where Zentry Furniture sets its update policy for each field in their model. You can select the appropriate flow for each field as shown here. Some fields like summary and description make sense to flow both directions. Other fields can be set to only flow in one direction. For example, the status field from JAMA only flows to JIRA upon creation. Other fields don't flow at all. Zentry Furniture uses those fields for filtering and routing. We'll show what that means a bit later on. Going back to the integration overview, we'll come back to route artifacts between projects momentarily. Let's talk about filtering. Filtering allows Zentry Furniture to decide which artifacts are allowed to flow in this integration. For example, Zentry Furniture only wants requirements to flow from JAMA to JIRA when they're in an accepted state. Let's configure this. We'll add a filter. We'll select the field we care about, which is the status field. The status field must equal accepted. Now we save. And that's how easy it is to set up artifact filtering. Two other controls are the ability to flow comments and attachments. Remember when the comments and attachments flowed earlier in the demo? This is all it takes to allow that communication. 2 quick clicks and comments can flow between your tools. Attachments work the same way. 2 clicks and attachments can synchronize between JIRA and JAMA. Now let's go back and talk about routing by clicking on the Route Artifacts Between Projects. Here we are in the Artifact Routing screen. What we have configured now is an explicit routing of requirements from JAMA Inventory Management Project to flow to the JIRA Inventory Management Project. But it's very important to scale your integrations. Imagine there's a second initiative running for an order management application. We need to add that project. If we go to our JAMA collection, we can add the order management project to our collection. And when we add the new project, it automatically inherits the mapping to the requirements model that occurred with the original inventory management project. We'll do the same thing for JIRA, but in JIRA there are 2 projects to add. One project is for the UI work, and one project is for the backend work. Again, both these JIRA projects are automatically mapped to the requirements model. Going to the artifact routing screen, we need to route the artifacts from the one JAMA project to one of the 2 JIRA projects. We'll route the Order Management project in JAMA and the Order Management App Backend and Order Management App UI in JIRA. We'll connect these, and now we need to configure how the artifacts will flow from one JAMA project into 2 JIRA projects. This will depend on the component field on the JAMA requirement, and this is configurable as you can see. We'll select the component field. If the component is the Order Management Backend, the requirement will flow the Order Management Backend project in JIRA. If the component is the Order Management App UI, the requirement will flow to the Order Management App UI project in JIRA. This is how quickly you can set up and scale up an integration. Here we are back in the Integration Overview page. We've just shown how to set up the integration for requirements flowing between JAMA and JIRA. Zentry Furniture used the same process for the requirements, Jira to HPE ALM, Jira stories to HP requirements, and the defects from HPE ALM to Jira. So far, these are all synchronization integrations. Synchronization involves long-lived artifacts that stay in sync while living in separate tools. The Jira Change Sets integration is a gateway-style integration. Gateway is a different integration style that opens up integration to a new world of tools. Many of your tools for things such as automated testing, security vulnerability, and build automation generate event-based activity. This activity often needs to be attached to existing artifacts or should cause the creation of new artifacts. Gateway integrations allow you to push your events to Tasktop and will route them, filter them, and write them where you need. Remember when the change set magically appeared on the Jira story? Here's the gateway integration that allowed it. You can see its configuration is very similar to the previous integration. And here's the Jira story showing that change set. This is an example of Git pushing change sets to Zentree's Tasktop instance. Tasktop then added that information to an existing Jira story. Finally, there's the enterprise reporting style of integration as shown on the Artifact Activity Data Store. Tasktop allows you to write out all your artifacts and updates to your own database. This allows you to run reports and analytics on your software delivery process. As you can see, with Tasktop Integration Hub, we support many different styles of integration, all configured, managed, and maintained with one simple interface. Tasktop, one simple product, one powerful solution.